Welcome to the family with
Mike Gelfand
and Andy Barnard.
There you go. What do you think of that action? So, what's the latest? Anything we should start the show with a hot topic?
See, hot topics. I don't know. It does kind of seem like something happened this week where all of a sudden it's almost business as usual.
Really?
I mean, nothing really shocking happened. And usually there's something shocking that happens every week.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. I guess we're in a summer lull right now.
Because nobody's coming out of the house. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Something like that. And I got to get rid of this headline too, because I've already used it twice on the morning show, but I got to read it because I wasn't thinking about this. Kristen Burt educated me that happens to everybody who dances a lot or moves around a lot on stage. Sometimes Taylor Swift has to wipe snot from her nose during a concert.
It's understandable.
But Kristen Burt said they all do. If you move around a lot, you're
Yeah.
going to get snot coming out of your
Makes
nose.
sense.
Oh, yeah. I mean, of course, the only way I relate to it is for the many years that I used to run every morning, and you know about that.
Yeah.
And whether it was summer or winter.
Doesn't matter.
I used to, in the
True.
winter time, I would wear like ski gloves,
Mhm.
and then there was a little flap on the back side of the glove. You know.
Oh, sure.
You know, and I would shove Kleenex in there. So while I was running, you know, when things got bad, I just go like that.
No, absolutely. You see people doing that all the time.
Yeah.
No question about it. I also got a couple other headlines I've been looking at. I have not opened these at all. What are you sick of people trying to convince you is great?
Pretty much everything.
It's pretty much everything. That's what I was wondering.
There's a
Isn't
few
that
things?
What do you got, Andy? Let me see if it
mean-
makes the list.
Sriracha.
Sriracha?
People are obsessed with it. I just don't.
Really?
Get it. It just tastes like Tabasco with way too much garlic in it. To
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Who's talking a lot about sriracha?
Everyone under the age of 40.
Wow. Who knew?
Didn't somebody just pull their chips off the market because they were way too spicy? I just saw that.
That was Well, no, that was a You might be thinking of this ramen that was banned in Denmark for being too spicy.
No, this is a bag of chips, and I can't remember who put them out. Maybe you could find it on there, Andy. It's sriracha chips or something. I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. What you were talking about, that they took them off the market because they were way too spicy.
Well, there was a kid who died after doing a spicy chip challenge.
Really?
The one chip challenge.
What?
What was on the chip?
Let's see. The Pocky, I assume it's pronounced Paqui. One chip challenge. So it's one chip packaged, and the idea is to eat it, and it's just very, very spicy. It's just chili pepper extract. It's soaked in it.
Ish.
Oh man.
Well, it's not designed to be good. You know, it's basically designed. It's like, I don't know, self-flagellation almost.
Yeah.
Oh, I
but-
prefer that in other ways.
Mm-hmm.
Well, didn't they used to do that with ghost peppers?
Oh, they've been doing that for ages.
For
When I was a
yeah.
kid, it was
Yep.
sour things. We'd have these warheads, like these extra super sour warheads.
Oh, yeah.
Suck on them for as long as you can. That, you know, kids have been doing this sort of thing for 1,000 years.
I suppose that is true, but I don't really see that. But there is a company that pulled their chips off the market because people wouldn't buy them because they're too spicy.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is like every company. I saw I don't know if it was a Instagram thing or what, but there was this guy just making fun of the fact that everything has to be spicy now. Every product has like a spicy version.
I imagine it doesn't sell that well in Minnesota.
Well, I don't think it really sells well anywhere. It's one of those things where it's like you'll see like, spicy Oreos. Sure, let's give it a try. And then you're like, this is actually not very good. And then you never buy it again. And then it goes off the market.
Yeah, I could see that.
And most people don't really want to just be constantly eating capsaicin 24 hours a day. But it's definitely like a college student teenager thing to be like, oh, look how tough I am. I can handle any amount of this.
Spiciness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's good if that's what's in the hearts and minds of college students these days. I say it's better than some of the alternatives.
That's true, I suppose.
I tell you what, the one thing that comes to my mind that I'm tired of hearing about how great things are is the Barnard's bad. I can't stand the Barnard's man anymore.
Barnard.
I'm watching Twins
Menards.
games, and apparently no one there's no sponsors of Twins games anymore except Menards. And I wish the guy would just shut up. I've had it with the guy.
You don't
Great
like the
product
Menards,
and all that. No problem with the product.
yeah, sure.
But stop it.
At Menards, he does do that.
Now, isn't he the son of the original Menards guy?
I think that's what I heard.
Yeah, that might be right.
So it sounds like what it sounds like he's doing is it sounds like he's making fun of his dad.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny about that?
Hmm.
I was offered that job to take over for his dad when he retired,
Really?
but then it just never developed. So I suppose because I wouldn't go at Menards. Maybe that's the reason I never got the job. Possibly.
Yeah, and if it's I'm assuming it's the founder's kid, so they're probably not paying him what they would have to pay you.
There's a very good point to be made there. There's no question about it. It's one thing when you encounter a Costco enthusiast who always talking about how great Costco is, but when everyone wants to talk something up, it gets annoying. You guys agree with that? If everyone's talking everything up or some things up, it can get annoying.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Okay. And by the way, number 2 was something that Joan Rivers once said. I miss Joan Rivers so much I adored her. Did you guys? You had to like Joan Rivers, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked her. I
I'm
I
not
was
sure I
probably
go
a
as
little
far
young.
as adoration. But,
Yeah.
God, she was a guest so many times on my shows.
yeah, I remember that.
She was
always on.
She was always on.
Mhm.
Okay. If people are talking about AI all the time, does it piss you off?
Yes. AI. Well, I mean, AI is one of those things where just like it started off as an obvious ploy to get investors,
Yes.
and it's just gotten worse since then.
How about cruises?
Cruises, I don't trust them.
But we've been on a couple of them, but I don't hear people talking up cruises all the time. Do you?
I mean, I think it's mostly like older, middle-aged people who their kids have left the house and now they have nothing to do.
I haven't heard people talk about how great cruises are since the pandemic.
Well, yeah, the pandemic really took a crap on the cruise industry.
That's true. Number 10, dancing. Someone said it isn't about being or about letting loose or getting out of your shell. Some people just don't feel, I guess, music that way. They just don't like dancing.
That is true.
Yeah,
I'm not really a dancer, and some people find it weird. I don't know.
One thing I decided when I was a teenager was, I don't dance, I type.
Yeah, there you go.
My fingers will dance across the keyboard.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
God,
My Sunday shoes are going to stay firmly on.
I wish I could I had enough camera space to show you how there was a kid who I went to grade school with and how he danced. But I don't think there's anywhere I could do it where it would show up on camera. Is there?
I mean, if you'd moved your chair out of the way, maybe, and stayed low to the ground.
Nah, I can't do it because you have to see the feet too.
Oh,
I'll show
yeah,
you
no,
guys.
there's no
what
way
he
to.
did. He did this. Okay, let me see. I'll try it over here, but it's not going to work.
All right.
Ladies
and gentlemen,
You can't see my feet.
Tom Barnard.
Here's how he would dance at all the parties.
Oh,
Kick his
like
feet
almost,
back and forth.
Oh, so yeah.
almost like a jump rope.
Yeah, like jumping rope. That's what it looked like. Exactly. He's jumping rope.
Well,
having a
how
good
did that
time.
go with the ladies? That's always the question.
I don't think it was a hit.
No.
No.
Got to be honest with you. I don't think it was much of a hit, but Number 9 is marijuana. It affects some people negatively with anxiety and even paranoia. Actually, if I do too much THC to sleep, it gives me nightmares.
It doesn't surprise me.
No, it does. So I can't do that.
Yeah,
I can do a little bit, but not much.
I've made the mistake of taking like one big bite out of a gummy from Colorado.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, basically it just disables me for about an hour.
Can't move your legs.
I can't talk. I can't do anything.
I know.
I want to say something to someone. I want to tell like a story, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but in my mind, I have to say, okay, I need the subject. I need the predicate. Keep this in mind. Okay, let's say cat, vomit, cat, vomit, cat, vomit. And then I start talking about the cat. And then I think, what do I do next? Oh, vomit. Yeah. So I go to that. It's not worth it.
No, you're right about that. So marijuana, it affects some people negatively with anxiety and paranoia, and they're tired of hearing about how this strain will totally not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Then a couple of them are boring. Hot yoga and ice baths. Who the hell would constantly talk about hot yoga or ice baths?
Hot yoga was a thing for a while.
Yeah, that's true.
Ice baths just sound horrible.
What is kombucha? Is that a drink?
Yes.
Oh, it is.
It's fermented something. I don't remember what. It's not alcoholic. You can get it at any grocery store.
I thought it was kombucha, but it's kombucha.
Nope. Kombucha.
There you go.
What is it? Let's see. Kombucha. What are you? Fermented. Oh, it's fermented tea.
Okay, well, that's interesting because someone said, I'm sure it's great for me, but it usually tastes like carbonated sock tea.
Yeah, I've heard it doesn't taste good at all. They say it's supposed to be super duper healthy. I don't know. I'm good.
Yeah, no question. We get to the top 5. Number 5 is hot weather. Yeah, when it's hot out, people never stop talking about how hot it is. That's
Hot
true.
enough for you?
Hot enough for you.
How
That's-
hot is it?
Yep,
Well,
that's exactly it.
I don't know. It's not true in a lot of markets, but here, like you turn on the news at 6 o'clock or 10 o'clock. There's a big story breaking. You want to know about it, but first you get a minute or two on the weather.
Oh, yeah.
Save it for later.
I could understand that. Yes, no question. Okay. Number 4, TV shows they watch or the music they're into. I talk about it, but I mean, it's my job to talk about TV shows I watch. That's what I
Well,
do.
yeah.
So, I don't know what this next one is. Number 3 is Stanley mugs. I don't know. What is a Stanley mug?
It's a steel tumbler. It's a kind of cup that everyone was into for a long. I don't know if they're still into it. I
okay.
guess they must be.
And now number 2, Joan Rivers shows up in this one. Running.
Mm,
And remember, Joan Rivers once joked, the first time I see a jogger smiling, I'll consider it.
that's true.
Yeah, you don't see
They
joggers
always
smiling
look
a lot.
so unhappy when they're doing it.
Well,
But you got to push through it to get the runner's high. It's, like smoking or heroin. You
Well,
just got to
nobody
push through the
jogs.
unpleasant part.
nobody jogs anymore. It's running now. You can do it. You can
Yep.
do a 20-minute mile and it's still going to be running.
That's true.
Yeah, you're right.
I remember there's a story I read about a guy who got into running, and you're supposed to be able to, run for, you do like a 20-minute run or something. And he's like, I
Mhm.
can barely get 5-6 minutes in. I've been doing this for 6 months, and I didn't understand what I was doing wrong. So I went to this like running club, and I watched what everyone else is doing, and they were jogging,
Mhm.
whereas I was running at a full sprint.
Oh, yeah, it's
Because
different.
that's what running is. When you're
Right.
running, you're going fast.
Yep.
Jogging isn't running.
Jogging
You're
is.
right. I agree.
Yeah, and if you say jogging anymore, it's basically emasculating.
No, I would agree. And by the way, one other thing people do not understand, it is much better for your body to run than it is to jog, because jogging, you're slamming your feet into the ground the whole time, whereas running, you're taking a longer stride.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
theory,
you gotta. Yeah, the longer, lower strides are better for your joints.
They are. Yep.
My dad was he was among the first businessmen downtown who abandoned. There was a story about it in the Minneapolis Star about businessmen, and they no longer have the 2 martini lunch. Now instead they're jogging, and it was jogging.
Yeah.
This was
yep.
this was back in the I don't know, maybe the mid to 860s. So they had a picture of a businessman jogging, and the businessman unfortunately was wearing the basketball shorts that were in
Oh.
favor at the time,
Mhm.
especially with it wasn't the NBA. What was the other league?
Yeah,
There was
what
the
was-
alternative.
There
Oh
was,
yeah,
yeah.
American League or whatever.
I
What was
can't
it
remember
called?
what they called it, but it was for a time there was a Minneapolis team in that league, and they had some really good players in it. But so this guy, they show him jogging on the track at the YMCA, and you can almost see the cracks, right? And you know who that businessman was?
Ooh.
My dad.
Your
Oh,
dad.
fun.
Really?
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
I love that picture. Every now and then when I'm feeling down, I just look at that picture.
Yeah, the American Basketball
Yeah,
Association.
ABA,
That's what I was
ABA,
thinking
it
of, but
was.
that wasn't founded till 1999.
Oh, this
But it was their American Basketball League before too, I think.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
pretty
this was
sure it was.
definitely before that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the Premier Basketball. No, that's pretty new. There's a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
I must
bet.
say the
Well, I guess-
United Basketball League.
And I guess in truth, the shorts came before the ABA.
Probably true.
Well,
yes.
This one's rather full of itself. The Basketball League. It's
Oh.
the only one.
Well, pardon me.
Mhm.
The number one response, again, someone asked the internet, what are you sick of people trying to convince you is great? The number one response was starting a business. Some people are not meant to be business owners, and they don't mind a boring, stable gig working for the man.
This is true. Everyone seems to think that they're destined for some sort of greatness, that they're going to invent the next big thing or
Yeah,
start the next
true.
big company. And if you don't, you're somehow a failure. But I mean, if you think about it, think of 99.999% of all humans ever born. None of them were ever great. And that's fine. You don't have to be great.
Yeah.
The way the economy was originally thought to function was that you had a job that allowed you to, have a dignified life. You get to
Right.
retire at some point. And now, of course, it's like if you're not Tesla, you're nothing.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not a billionaire, you might as well not
It's
have ever
true.
been born.
And
It's it doesn't make any sense to me. That attitude is just really, I don't like it.
No, and it doesn't help that. Well, talk about Tesla. Elon Musk now is demanding an annual. I shouldn't say payment, but it's not really a salary because there's so many more things than salary. But
Mhm.
it's a package that's worth $46 billion.
Of course.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have that?
Yeah. If you can't make $46 billion a year running a company, why would you even bother?
Yeah, exactly. 45 billion. Might as well just be homeless at that point.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we got a debt of what, 36 trillion now, so it doesn't even stack up anywhere near
Yeah,
that.
so you need 1,000 Musks to pay off our debt.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and of course, except for the fact that Musk doesn't, like all people that are that rich, he doesn't pay any taxes at all.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing that they can get away with that? They don't pay any
Well, it's
tax.
because they don't have income.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
right. No
They
income.
have options.
Yeah, and still, of course, they still want to establish residence in Malta.
That is true. It
That's
is
the big
like-
trend now for the
Is
Musk
Malta?
people.
Well, and I'm sure Malta isn't exactly sad to see them coming.
No,
with their
because
billions of dollars.
because Malta says, yeah, come on in.
Mhm.
Oh, by the way, you'll need to make an initial payment of $15 billion.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was in my 20s, it was Grand Cayman. That's where everybody, the banks
Grand
at
Cayman Islands, yep.
Grand Cayman Islands.
Mhm.
That's where everybody was putting their dough. I mean, not from my neighborhood,
Right.
but
Well, no.
When I was a kid, it was the Swiss banks.
Swiss banks.
Yeah, Swiss banks. Even
Mhm.
when I was a kid, it was the same thing.
Yep, Swiss
Yeah.
banks have been a thing forever. Let's
There's no
see.
doubt about it.
Malta, the entire country is worth $22 billion. So Musk is worth 2 Maltas. So if he moves there, he will triple their total GDP. So there you go.
Mhm.
I'm sure they would be thrilled for that to happen.
Now, Andy, I guess this is more for Mike, but you study history, so you know about this as well. First thing I see when I wake up this morning, I pop on the television, see the national news. Russia has warships in Cuba again. Remember
Missile
when we went through
crisis is
this?
back on the menu?
Honest to God, that was 60 years ago. It was like 1962, 63, something like that.
I was thinking it was 1959.
Or 59 might have been one. You're probably right about that, looking back. But that was a big deal when Russia put warships. Now, they said, well, don't worry about it. They're nuclear warships, but there are no warheads on board.
No, of course not.
Yeah, of course. We believe that to be true.
Well, yeah, because Putin doesn't lie.
No, never. No question. I love how it was a bitch for him to get reelected. Did you notice that?
I know. I
No.
think he got like 98%. It was a close one.
It was very close.
Yeah, he gets 98%, and they still have his rival killed.
Let's see.
Yeah.
He got 88%.
Oh, well, someone had to die for that.
Mm-hmm.
I would,
88%.
yeah.
That's yeah.
I imagine
Way
that's
too
probably
close.
true.
So what is the purpose of this? What's their objective?
I guess the speculation that I've seen is we look like the weakest America we've ever been.
We
right now.
absolutely do.
We're we kissing everybody's ass, whether it's China or Russia or the Middle East or whatever. I basically, it's just repeating what happened in the late 50s and early 60s. Although Fidel's not around anymore, so what are you going to do about that?
Sad, yeah.
Who does run Cuba right now?
I don't know. It was his son at one
His
time.
son was there.
Well, he's probably 100 years old now, too.
He would have to be. Let's see. The King of Cuba or whatever they have. What do they have? A president? El
dictator?
Presidente?
El Presidente, probably.
The
yeah.
ironic thing, while Andy's looking this up, the ironic thing is one of the reasons that they feel like we're so weak is because we have so many politicians who are basically kissing his ass.
That's exactly what it is, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it.
Cuba's got a president, and it is Miguel Diaz-Canel.
Canel
So-
number 5.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
I think he made the Panama Canal.
I'll be very honest with you. Catherine and I your mom and I went to Cuba one time. It is a beautiful country. Unfortunately, the infrastructure is falling apart
Yeah.
because they don't repair anything.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful country. Very, very nice people. They eat a lot of chicken. I'll tell you that.
Oh boy, do they eat a lot of chicken.
They eat a lot of chicken in Cuba. But it's just this beautiful. Why we never tried to make that our 51st state, I don't really understand.
I don't think they would have liked it too
Yeah, I
much.
don't think the Communist Party wants that.
Well,
Yeah.
I know, but they wouldn't have been communists at that time in the early 50s.
You know, the
Oh, yeah,
interesting
like
thing
before
about
Castro,
the
you
chicken,
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the interesting thing about the chicken is that for many years, I probably isn't true anymore, but Fidel Castro basically, would feed all the people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
The problem being that he fed the people and they were very grateful if they could get by on a 1,200 calorie a day meal.
Well, there you go.
Menu. It's and the food they got, you know where it came from? The chicken came from?
Where?
Well, they were chicken patties, tasteless, obviously.
Oh no.
They would get them by basically probably by the hundreds of thousands. Cargill.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Cargill did it, huh?
It was the famous Cargill chicken patties. They also, at one time, I don't know if they still do, but they owned the assisted living market.
Cargill did?
Yeah. So
I had no
you'd go
idea.
into any assisted living place and chicken would be on the meal and it would be one of those chicken patties, that came with 100,000 other chicken patties. They put them in the freezer. And I ate a few of those because I used to eat with my dad sometimes when he was in assisted living.
Mhm.
And the attraction of them for certainly for my dad was that they had no taste at all.
And there were no bones in it or anything
Nothing.
like that.
Oh,
either.
no, God,
very,
no.
very easy to eat.
Yeah, my dad had plenty of bones to pick, but
Yes,
but
I
not,
can see that. I will tell you, if the one thing I would say about the people are very, very friendly. They're very nice. It's quite an experience to be in Cuba,
Mhm.
except for the side of a building falling off while you're watching it. That's not great. But if you ever get to Cuba, you must go see the dancers at the Tropicana.
Oh,
It is unbelievably
They
magnificent.
still have that, huh?
They still have it. Catherine and I went, and it was phenomenal.
I remember as a kid, people talked about that.
Oh, yeah, you and I were like little kids.
Yeah.
The Tropicana, the dancers. The first time they came out, they're very beautiful women. They're kind of scantily clad, but not nude or anything like that.
Mhm.
And every one of them had a hat with a large tree on it.
Oh yeah, them.
They had the trees on top of their noggins, so the Cuban palms or whatever they are. I guess.
Yeah. And I think that's why the mob thought they could make a fortune there in
You
Cuba.
are correct. Well, they were going to take over that whole area. There's
Yeah.
no question. Why did that not happen? Because of Fidel Castro?
I think Castro, and I think that maybe the Bay of Pigs served
Bay of
as
Pigs,
a
yep.
deterrent.
Yeah. We're going to be Bay of Pigging it up again, aren't we? Sure looks like it.
Yeah, could well be.
I don't know. But the one thing I did really love about Cuba, you would call a taxi and they'd say, Mr. Barnard, your taxi's here. You go outside and there's like a 52 Pontiac.
Oh yeah. My Camry would be considered slick and new there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Only 25 years old.
And the amazing thing is, a lot of them didn't run on a normal car engine. They had some other kind of
Sure.
motor put in them.
Oh yeah, because a lot of them just
They probably ran out
because
yeah.
they were the kind of American cars that were built when American cars didn't last.
Yeah, that's true.
So eventually they'd have to replace the motor.
Mhm.
The bodies of these cars are just sterling clean, just
Yeah.
beautiful, very comfortable, very big cars.
Oh yeah,
They were back in the 50s. The cars were all very, very big.
they're
I do
like
remember.
grandma cars.
Yeah, grandma cars. That's a good way to
like
put
my
it.
grandmother, she always had Pontiacs, big Pontiacs. And
Did she?
then one day she decided that she just didn't remember she had the DNA of that wing of my family.
Yeah.
So one day she decided she was tired of hearing her children argue. And so she attempted to drive through the wall of the garage.
That's not good.
Fortunately, she and the car survived.
No, that's good. Glad to hear it. No question about it. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to Cuba, I would go to. They haven't. They'll probably be shutting it down right now since those warships are in the area. So I wouldn't want to go there right now. I'll be honest with you, but it's a hell of an experience. You ever get a chance to go, I would, when it's not in the middle of turmoil.
So Andy, I got a question for you. Did you ever have the pleasure of being on one of those cruises with your parents?
We did the little red boat, big red boat, whatever size of red boat that Disney
red
did
boat
for like 25 years ago at least.
And where did it go?
That I don't even remember.
Yeah.
You don't remember? Well, I will tell you one thing about that trip, that boat we were on, the big red boat or whatever it was called, little red boat, big. I don't remember either, Andy.
Some sort of red boat.
But remember when 2 hurricanes and a tornado came together in northern Canada, right on the east coast? 3 systems came in and clashed right over that. Well, the hurricane that came from the south passed right over our boat.
Wow.
You remember that, Andy? That one day when it was incredibly stormy.
Everyone was not happy on that boat.
No, they were not, because that was one severe storm, but the boat survived it. I don't know how the hell it did, but it did survive. You were doing a little bouncing up and down, though. I'll tell you, you're trying to sleep. It was like, oh God, you'd have hated it, Galvano.
I never had that experience, although I did go on a cruise once. It was my parents' idea that the whole family should go on a cruise, and that included my children too.
Oh, okay.
And the kids kind of liked it. And I never really got used to 5 people sleeping in what would be a large size men's room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
I didn't go, no sleeping at all, basically.
No question about it. One more. We went down on a river cruise from St. Paul down to St. Louis, and it goes all the way down to New Orleans. But I've heard the second half from St. Louis down to New Orleans is really kind of boring. Whereas going from St. Paul to St. Louis, there's all this. First of all, northern Iowa on the east side over there where the river goes through, stunningly beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
I've
gorgeous.
seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. But yeah. But the reason I even bring that up, it was a great trip, had a wonderful time. If you ever get a chance to do it, I would definitely do it. Except for Catherine and I were there for our, I don't know, 32nd, 33rd anniversary, something like that. And I heard this massive bit of flowers. It's a whole bouquet of flowers. It was probably 5 feet tall, about 3 feet wide. They delivered it as we were leaving the boat. Could have been done at about 5 other ports, but no, couldn't do that. We got to make sure that you get it at we just had to leave it on the boat because it was too big to bring with us.
It was probably their plan.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And then they just deliver it to someone else.
Oh yeah, make another $1,000 off of flowers. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, I'll never forget that we had to leave that thing right where it was, and she saw it for about 1 minute. Really great.
Oh, the first minute's always the best anyway.
Oh, I suppose it's true, but Andy, now Mike, have you been? You said you had been on a cruise, or not? You had, and with your whole family.
Yeah.
And where did you go?
It was, I believe, we spent a lot of time in, like Jamaica.
Oh, down there. Okay, that cruise.
Yeah.
Out of Miami.
Yeah, and out of Miami.
Yep.
Yeah. And luckily for me, they did have a casino there.
Oh yeah, they got a casino on board. Yeah, you're right about that.
So when I was looking for just to get away for a few minutes, I'd go there and I'd play a little blackjack. And for some reason, I was going to say I got lucky, but I'm never getting lucky. So, but at any rate, I made enough money to pay for the tips. And you do a lot of tipping on a cruise.
Oh, well, I got to show you something. It was exactly what you just said. I was just thinking about it. It was the cruise that Catherine and I took. I think we went to Bermuda or something. We
went to Bermuda. Yeah.
Yeah, probably same cruise you went.
Yeah,
I'd imagine.
Caribbean cruise. Yeah.
But Andy, when the servers would come around to bring your meal to you,
Mhm.
they would always hold up this picture
Yes, yes.
and the pictures of their children.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the same picture though, right?
It's the same picture, exactly.
yeah.
Picture of the children. "Oh, I just wanted you to see my children because,
Yep.
we're a very poor family and my children will never be able to come on the ship because we're very poor." They're begging for the huge tip.
Yeah. And I remember the guy showing us the picture and he's saying, "Oh, this is my little Petito. I see him once a year."
That was the same. I bet it was the same cruise.
Yeah.
I bet it was not the same time,
Yeah.
but the same cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're begging for money, trying to pretend they all have the same child. It's like, at least change up the pictures. That'd be a little smarter,
Yeah.
don't you think?
Same picture. Yep. Same family. And you always, you had no choice, even if you thought it was a fraud, you had to pay up.
Well, you had to give them the money. Otherwise, you look like a total jerk, I suppose. But what are you going to do? Such is life. Anything else in the news that you've been seeing you wanted to talk about?
Well, yesterday I was sort of captivated by the turmoil in the food gorging competition business.
Oh, with Joey Chestnut.
They have their own league now.
They kicked him out.
The eating league. They kicked him out. I mean, this was the Nathan's hot dog competition, which is the big one.
Right.
That's like the Super Bowl for eaters.
Yeah, right.
And I think he won it like 16 times or something.
I think so, yeah.
And apparently they didn't have like a firm contract, so it wasn't mandated that he only belonged to that team, the Nathan's team.
Okay.
So then he decided that it didn't seem like a big deal, but he was going to compete in another competition that wasn't sponsored by Nathan's, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the reason then that they got angry and told him he couldn't participate in the Nathan's thing anymore was that the other hot dog competition, it was a hot dog that did not have meat in it.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Yeah, so that's
The
one
vegan hot
step
dog.
too far. Yeah.
The vegan hot dog.
Plant-based competition. No, you have to go now. And then, of course, you remember the Japanese guy. I can't pronounce his name because I don't really.
I know who you're talking about.
And he had won hot dog contests, like many hot dog contests, but he retired. This didn't help the food gorging league. It didn't help matters. He retired because he said something like he no longer felt joy. It's like he felt like his whole life had been destroyed by eating too many hot dogs.
Too many hot dogs destroyed his joy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, I could understand what he was saying.
What was his name, like Sarabachi or something?
It was something like that.
Takeru Kobayashi.
Kobayashi.
Kobayashi,
Not
yeah.
Sarabachi. Kobayashi.
Yeah. He said that he couldn't eat another hot dog that it just deprived him of.
I mean, can you blame him?
No, I don't blame him at all.
110 bunless hot dogs in 10 minutes.
Oh God,
that's his record.
Oh
yeah, I mean, you know what? You can retire comfortably with that one. It's like DiMaggio's record. No one will ever touch it.
It just sounds awful.
I don't mind hot dogs, but they are not my first choice for food. Got to be honest with you.
No.
11.9 pounds of chicken in one sitting.
Oh God, that's a lot of chow.
And it's always the slim guy.
It is.
Yeah, and he's very, very thin.
Yeah.
He's 5'8" and he weighs, what does he weigh? I wonder if I can find that.
Well, hell, he's a power forward then where he is.
Probably
That's true. Let's see. He weighs 128 pounds.
Jesus. And he can eat 12 pounds of meat.
Rail thin.
Wow.
But somehow, I don't know how that works.
That's what I weighed for much of my life.
No,
About 100, 124.
Maybe, yeah.
But I never took part in a hot dog eating contest. No.
Let's calculate his BMI here. 5'8", 128 pounds would make him. Oh, he's not underweight, but he's close.
Oh,
he's
hell,
very close.
At I've looked at the BMI a couple times, and basically to be in the normal area, I would have to gain 4 pounds. So you can be pretty skinny and still be normal.
I suppose that is probably true. It's kind of interesting. We're talking about gorging yourselves. I did not know this. Maybe you guys are well educated in this whole situation. And I guess I won't condemn the company because, people, they're still on the market and all the rest of it. I ate a few of these 10 calorie, they're the little, it wasn't lifesavers, but it looked like a lifesaver.
Mhm.
Okay. They had sugar alcohol in them.
Oh yeah.
I
Mhm.
ate them, and literally for an hour, I felt like vomiting.
Yep.
What is that about sugar alcohol? It makes you want to vomit.
It's indigestible, so it ferments in your stomach.
Oh, that's what it is. So you can't
Mhm.
digest it, so your stomach takes the hit.
Yep.
And now what is the sugar like? It's I don't know what it is. A chemical, I suppose.
I'm guessing.
That's used in a lot of baking products.
Well,
So
there's a million of them. There's sucralose. There's the sugar alcohols. There's
I think it's a sugar alcohol, but
stevia, monk fruit.
Yeah.
there's a name for this one, but I can't remember it. But apparently, it can do a lot of damage to you.
Apparently, because I never did vomit, but I did that that deal.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It really made me feel like
You have
vomiting.
to be careful with those. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't. I would never go near one of those
Oh, yeah.
again. That
No,
stuff kicked my ass.
It's like watching Alex Kirillov bat.
Not wait in the minors, you mean?
He's in the minors now. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, he'll probably be back.
You think so?
I think so, because he's a guy who's been up and down. Not so much in terms of minor league, major league, but he's because remember, he started the year off looking like a killer.
He did, but then he went like 2 for 25 or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good.
No,
Once-
but that's the beauty of having your minor league team, just across the river.
Judd Zulgad this morning, Score North, told us that the next 3 opponents for the Twins
Mhm.
are the worst 3 teams in baseball.
Well, they already played one of them.
Yeah, they already played one of them and lost one of the
Colorado.
games.
Well, the Colorado thing, I mean, Colorado can give you 5 good innings.
Yeah.
And then because in 2 of those Colorado games, they had like guys with ERAs in the triple figures, and the Twins were just it was like batting practice.
Yeah.
And that was yesterday.
17 runs.
Yesterday I was watching a lot of the game in the hospital room of a friend of mine who had a stroke, and he was being fed by a tube. He's okay. He'll get better.
Good.
But for now, he had a feeding tube. And, so he was watching the Twins game, and he was trying to laugh with the feeder tube in him. And it was a little tough.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that must have been hideous.
It was tough. I said, Bob, let's watch something else.
Yeah. Why don't we do they finally admit the lead story, breaking news, the Star Tribune, ladies and gentlemen. Report states inadequate oversight of feeding our future open door to fraud. How many millions of dollars in fraud was committed? I mean, it was a huge amount of money, millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, hundreds of millions. Yeah.
So you're turning millions and millions of dollars over to people who do inadequate oversight? Why would you ever think of doing that?
But it was good for the economy when they bought all those Teslas,
Rolls Royces.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
What state was that woman from? She
Georgia, I think.
Was it Georgia? Yeah, it was Georgia. You're right.
Mhm.
$15 million she got. And first thing she did, go out and buy a brand new Rolls Royce.
Well, wouldn't you?
No, I'd want to maybe hide if I was a thief.
I'm trying to remember what I did with my first 15 million.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't remember anymore.
Well, it's just been so much that is leaking through your hands.
That's right. Well, I mean, if Elon Musk can get 46 billion a year, I should be able to defraud the government out of a mere 15 million.
You would think, in any case, but yeah, well, is the whole world, because it does appear this way to me, is the whole world money? It's just money. It's the power that gets you the money. So it's not power, it's the money behind that power.
Mm-hmm.
Correct? I mean, it's the whole world now. It's money, 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 money.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to go back to the antebellum period of our country to find any sort of election that wasn't decided largely by money. Because you can't
there's
even
no
run
question.
unless you've got like millions and millions of dollars.
Aren't these two guys sneaking up on like $250 million apiece in donations?
That wouldn't surprise me. This, every 4 years you hear it, and this will be the most expensive election in the history of the country.
You do.
And then they just shatter that record.
Do you think there's one person out there who's going to be happy no matter who gets elected?
Probably not.
I wouldn't think
No.
so.
I totally believe that after the presidential election, it doesn't even matter who wins. We're going to have a lot of problems.
It
In the
sure looks
streets,
like
we're going
it.
to have a lot of problems.
It sure looks like it, yes. Well, the one guy came on national TV last night. I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter if it's his name. He was trying to claim on national news that murder is way down in America. No, it is not.
Well, you know how it is with the murder rate. It's not really connected so much. It really isn't connected at all to the police or to
No.
government or anything. It just goes up and down. It fluctuates, and it has nothing to do with anything.
No, it really doesn't, does it? Because there's more murder going on right now than I have ever seen in my entire life. There's no question about it. And it's the young people that are doing most of the shooting.
Yeah, well, yeah, it always has been.
No, I suppose that's true.
But more so because it's about access.
Access
It
to the
always
weapons.
has been about access.
About the access to the
if
weapons
you get,
themselves.
if you give people the opportunity to get a gun, there's a pretty good chance something terrible is going to happen.
I would have to agree with you on that one. I still don't understand that. I own a weapon, but I had to qualify with that weapon. I had to go and do interviews about what I need, this, that, and the other thing. Because I was a public figure, it was easier to do, though, because public figures do have to protect themselves from psychopaths. But, it's one of those deals. But yeah, it was not easy to get a licensed weapon.
Yeah.
The unlicensed weapons are very easy to get.
That's the problem. Yeah.
And that is a huge
Because those are the
problem.
guns that are doing the killing.
They are. There's no doubt about it. It's just really sad.
Nobody buys a brand new Glock and then goes out and kills someone with it.
No, absolutely not.
More likely they printed the gun.
That's an interesting thing that's going. They are printing guns now.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little scary.
I've tried printing money, but that didn't work.
No, it didn't work either.
No.
Was it Monopoly money?
Well, it was a little more sophisticated, but still,
okay.
it's. I remember the days when if you had, say, a $50 bill, they would hold it up against the light. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Now they have to use a special marker.
That doesn't happen anymore. Now they yawn and they take your $50 bill.
Did you know that Photoshop and many other programs, if they detect that you're trying to Photoshop a currency, it'll not let you do it? They have currency fraud detection algorithms in there.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
If
you take a picture of $100 bill, load it up in Photoshop, and try to smooth it out so you can print more of them, it won't let you do it.
Huh.
It'll be like, you're not allowed to use this program to manipulate money.
Well, that's good.
It is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that they're doing that because apparently there's a lot of fraudulent money out there. You find that to be the case?
Probably less than there was.
Yeah, probably less than there was.
There's
You're
so
probably
many
right about
anti-fraud things in place now, the holograms and,
Yeah.
God, this is such a headline in the Star Tribune. I can't even tell you. Rural North Shore residents oppose proposed Black-owned wellness sanctuary.
Oh my God.
Why would you oppose a wellness sanctuary?
That's one of those headlines I never got past.
No, you can't get past.
No, I thought,
You
okay,
can't.
I'm just going to move on now.
It says tax-free, no Clark Road Resort. Whatever the hell that.
What?
It's Clark Road. Apparently, is the street that it's on. I guess it's
Swanky?
Lake County. Where's Lake County? I don't even know. Rural North Shore, so it's way the hell up.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Way up there. Well, there's a picture of the woman who I guess she's either the owner or one of the owners or whatever. Her name is Rebecca Nicosi, I think, or Rebecca Nadosi, I guess. She looks pretty damn happy.
Yeah.
So maybe she wasn't told yet that they don't want the Black-owned wellness sanctuaries. I mean, I don't understand what would give you a reason to oppose a wellness sanctuary.
Well, Black-owned can also mean black only. depending on who owns it.
Oh, you can't get in?
I mean, yeah.
Well, that's a county with a population of something like 800 people.
That's probably true.
Just make the whole county a wellness sanctuary then. How much could it possibly cost? 800 people?
Now, I'm guessing, but almost every single black person I've ever known wouldn't ever go up there to go to a
That's
sanctuary
the other
anyway.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not going all the way up
Probably
there.
not a ton of them up there. I mean, there's no people up there in general, but
Speaking of money, there's still,
Lacoma?
what is that?
What county?
Lake County.
Oh, Lake County.
Yeah,
Lake
County.
County.
Way
How
up in
many
the pointy
people
part.
live there?
Yeah, there are probably more wolves up there than people.
Probably true.
Lake County has a population of 10.9 thousand.
Yeah.
Oh, really? And it's probably a gigantic county too.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah, no
about
question.
3,000 square miles.
Yeah, they're up there. Those counties are all huge as hell.
Two Harbors is the main population hub, and it
Oh.
has 3,600. So that's a third of the population of the whole county
What
right
was the
there.
name? Well, the Scenic Cafe is up there in Two Harbors, isn't it? I love the Scenic Cafe.
Yeah, one thing for sure, you don't want to have a heart attack in that county.
No, I would assume that's probably true. I would imagine that's probably true. Are we now? We're just rotating back into our society. Hatred of people who are not the same color as we are.
It's been there forever.
It's been there forever.
It's a different ethnicity, but it's
Yep.
the same hatred.
I just don't understand. I mean, right now it's white men that are hated the most. There's no question about that, right? I mean, it's just a given. And most
Well,
of the people,
probably true because in Minnesota, at least, there are a lot more white people than anything else.
yes, that's very, very true. But I just don't understand. Let me put this to the two of you, and I've been making this point lately. I don't understand because of your skin color. I don't like you, whether you're black, you're white, you're brown, you're yellow, whatever you are, I don't like you. You're then assuming everyone with that skin color is exactly the same.
Right.
Well, think about it this way. There's a lot of Asians in Asia, and it's also the #1 hub in the world for hating Asians.
Yeah, it is. You're absolutely, and it's
Well,
true.
I guess if they're the ones who are there to hate.
Exactly. It's, you hate who you can.
Again,
Everyone's got to hate someone, and
I
they're going
guess.
to pick whoever's most
it's
convenient.
it's just like the gun thing. It's access.
Yeah, it is access. You're absolutely right. I just look to sit here and look at my son and you and say, you're just like all the rest of you people. I mean, no, we all live different lives. We had different fortunes, good or bad. We didn't live anywhere near the same type of life. But just because of my skin color, you think I did?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. Well, there must be a lot of money in it, I guess.
But if you want to dehumanize people,
yeah,
that you just hate all of them because you don't see them as human beings.
no, I guess not. That's a very good point. They probably don't seem as human beings.
And in this country, whether you like it or not, it does go back to slavery.
No, it does. But even in Minnesota, and I think there was one guy who owned a slave in Minnesota, so we had slavery in Minnesota. But I don't know if you could even count him as a slave. That
Probably
I don't know.
Probably not legally.
No, I to be very honest with you, I never heard there was any slavery at all in Minnesota. And I guess there were a couple of but they could have called them a slave when they weren't.
So that would have been before the Civil War.
Yes. I guess so.
I guess there just weren't enough Germans or Swedish people to hate.
Yeah, maybe.
Then they came pouring in, damn it.
They came pouring in. Well, because the climate here is exactly like the climate in Sweden or Germany, or it's the same climate. That's why they came here. I don't understand. You had a chance to get away from the ice and snow, but you didn't.
Yeah, well, I guess you're comfortable there. I don't know.
That's what you grew up with.
I guess.
I think a lot of people from any ethnicity, they'll go anywhere where there are other people of the same ethnicity, and you can certainly understand that.
Yeah, I guess you want to be a like kind.
Who do we hate the most in America? It probably was the Asians.
You think
Because
so?
we had
World War
the
II?
Asian Immigration Act, which banned
Yeah.
all Asians from coming to the country.
And why was that?
I think that fear. I'm sure it's fear. They're going to take away all our jobs. You've heard that one before,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's right. And-
Jews will not replace us. So in this case, it was other people who wouldn't replace you.
Boy, that whole Jew thing, that Jew Hamas thing, I just don't explain that to me, Mike. I really don't understand. I loved where I lived as a kid.
Yeah.
And a third of that neighborhood was Jewish.
Mhm.
Never had any problem. What is going on with this? And it's young white women that hate the Jews now. What
Really?
the hell is that?
It's because they're the college students.
So they're being taught to hate them in college, you think?
I believe so. Well, they're being taught to hate just indiscriminately.
That's true.
Well,
And
people
this is the current demographic that's okay to hate.
Yeah.
People are taught. I mean, I coached Little League for many years. Believe me, people are taught to hate at home.
That's where it is.
Oh, I could see it.
Really?
Oh, I could see it.
So why would mom and dad hate Jews? What's the problem here?
Why does anyone hate Jews?
Well, I don't like you.
You know,
but it's a
they're
given.
They take away our jobs. They're pushy. You know, they smell bad. Who knows? I don't know.
I've never met one Jew that smelled bad in my life.
Smell bad is one of the few stereotypes that I've never actually heard.
But no, because you know, it was like dirty Jews, right?
Oh,
And so-
yeah, I
so
suppose. Yeah.
That goes back to Jews who are, you know, getting the hell out of Germany and Eastern Europe in general.
Yeah.
And they come here, they come to New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're living in a tenement building, and there are 16 people who have one bathroom. And
Yeah, true.
to take a bath or a shower, they got to go down the hall and wait for 18 other people to take a
That's
shower.
true.
So yeah, they probably were not smelling as springtime fresh. No.
But what about all the great jokes like Jew eat? No, Jew. I mean, what are you going to do with those jokes?
No, those are okay. Come on.
They're phenomenal.
I know that because I was at Cecil's the other day.
Oh, God, I love Cecil's.
Now, I can't say that anyone smelled at all because,
All you
the-
could smell was the pastrami.
Oh,
He's going to go into the big one.
it's taking me to my safe place just
Mhm.
thinking about it.
The deli food is phenomenal.
We got to get over there to Cecil's.
I would love to go to Cecil's. We'll do a two for on it. We'll do Crossroads and Cecil's.
Yeah. I haven't been to Crossroads since they had the new owner, so I don't know what it's like anymore.
So, are there any Brothers delis left, or are they just all gone?
Well, it's the one in the Skyway.
Oh, it's still there?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know the
That's
Brothers
my,
were still
my
there.
cousin runs that.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
mean, I
Oh,
don't know him, but he's my cousin.
of course, I haven't worked downtown in years now. So,
Well, that's the thing. You can't. You really have no access to that unless you work downtown.
yeah, I think that's probably true. But no, deli food, and again, maybe it's because of where I grew up and all the rest of it. But I will never, ever, ever get over matzo ball soup. Never.
When it's good,
Oh,
it's fabulous.
it
and,
is.
And you know, the Cecil's matzo ball soup is getting better.
Is it really?
It's getting better because it's a little thicker now. There's a little more chicken in there, which I like. And
Yeah.
but you know, it used to be more like, well, remember the Lincoln Dells matzo ball soup? There was nothing
Mhm.
in there, but a matzo ball the size of a bowling ball,
It was
and the
big.
texture wasn't much different,
It was still good.
but it
though.
was great.
It was absolutely still good. One of my favorite experiences going to Cecil's, and God, this is 50 years ago, maybe. I don't know. It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
I walk in there, and there's, kind of a hefty, bald guy, and he's looking at the menu.
Mhm.
And he's trying to figure out so he's got the menu, and he's looking at it and looking at it. He's trying to going down, and he starts running his finger down, trying to figure out what he wants.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, just out of nowhere, he goes, "Oy gavalt." It was
The ultimate compliment in this situation.
Yes, it's
Well,
everything's too.
there's like 150 things on the menu.
Oh God, yes, no question about it. We only got a couple of minutes left. Any closers you guys want to go with?
Andy?
I don't think I have any. No.
Yeah, we covered everything. There's nothing left to cover.
But I think
We
that's
sure
why
did.
the Thursday show is so great, because we cover everything.
Yeah.
And we don't talk over one another like they do on national television, which is
Try
good.
not to.
Yep. No question about it. All right. Well, we will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Bye.
See ya.
Got a picture in my pocket reminds me of this was before. Every time I hear the singing reminds me how you talking